Hey guys, I'm Samir. I think lots of people don't know me. I'm a Xamarin developer and I'm a community contributor too. I do all these stuffs. I do my knowledge share within my YouTube channel, that is Xamarin Guys. So I just share my knowledge to all the people. It's like my hobby to share lots of knowledge that I have. I don't tell lots of knowledge. It's like a little bit of knowledge that I have to the community itself. And right now, regarding my professional background, I've been working for some Sydney company that is like in Australia. I work for them, and we are just building up some really, really great products out of our lovely, lovely Xamarin Forms. And along with that, a small little MAUI is coming in middle, right? So yeah, I'm really, really excited with MAUI platform that is again coming, that is a like evolution for Xamarin Forms. And one thing is that Xamarin is never going anywhere. Okay, it will be like supported, and for 1 year or 2 year maybe probably. Okay, so we have Xamarin support too, and pretty little MUI is also making like a very good interest, and with 2.2 like 2.2 stars I think so in GitHub, right? So yeah, it is making its a community like where it's getting that feature like okay, I'm really excited. Basically I need to tell that. Okay, so let me start with this session, and we can see here in this session, I'm going to integrate our Xamarin Forms application to Firebase. I think some people might have added, or more people have like everybody in this whole conversation had added, like this meeting has added that sending your data to the database like of Firebase. Or if you have not added, then it's like my greatest opportunity to send the small information like let us suppose username and password to the Firebase database. Then the second part will be like we'll be doing like one application showcase where I'll be actually doing customer as well as the admin application where like some logical app. Okay, it's not like a really great logical app, so this will be like a demo app where the customer and the admin are going to log in with the application and doing some pretty good stuffs. So yeah, I have shared my repository over in here. I'll just share it in this chat too after this session gets over. And okay, let's get started then. Yeah, let's go to the Visual Studio. Okay, so I really don't want to bore you by creating a new project and just doing some username and password and just typing the entry. Okay, so you can see here pretty little username and password. Just sending the username and password to the database. Then I'll just demonstrate how it actually is working, how we are actually sending lots of complex nested tables to the Firebase database. So let's first of all, for the beginners, like for the beginners tutorial, I'm just using very basic Xamarin Forms app, which gets started from main page. You know that. So main page application will be there. Then how we gonna first of all integrate Firebase then? So what we'll basically do is Firebase application. Firebase will just add Firebase database or database. Okay. So Firebase. Oh, sorry. Firebase database. So Firebase database is going to be added to your .NET Standard project. That doesn't mean that we'll just add to Android as well as iOS. We'll
Sorry to
just
interrupt, Samuel. I'm not able to see my screen. Is it that me only?
uh, are everybody seeing my screen?
Yes, I am able to see screen. I think probably
It will
issue
get
is that yeah.
no. This I think there might be a problem with this then, right?
Okay, fine.
Can you try dropping and again joining Dishan?
Sure.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. Sure.
Yes, sorry, no problem. I'm okay with that. So yeah, we just need to add that within the .NET Standard project, and then just add it. That's all. So our first .NET Standard is integrated with Firebase database. So what we'll actually do then? We are going to send the username and password to the Firebase. Then our next part is doing a setup. So Yeah, this is my repository. Okay, I'm going to just set that whole admin application over here. Okay, I just need to update it by now. So yesterday I was working over here, no problem. So yeah, everybody knows about Firebase, correct? So this is a Firebase console. Okay, and you have to add you with your username as well as password, or you can use your Google login. Then add a new project. So let me add a new project name as X Hackers, Hackers DV. Okay. So yeah, and we don't need to add this Google Analytics for this project because we don't want any of these features like testing, crashing, or something like predicting user behavior. We don't want that. So let it create our project over there, and where we are going to send our username as well as password to that appropriate database. So let it load for some time. Okay, then here let me go to the app itself. So here is a small, very small button application that gets a clicked. It's not a MBBM way. Okay, just simple click, and it go over here. You can see uh, we have Firebase client, right? So this line of code will send you the username and password to the database. That's it. Okay, you don't want any of the lots of coding stuffs, nothing like that. Just use your Firebase client, initialize your database API. So from where does it really comes from? So this Firebase client, okay, is inside your Firebase database. So let me remove that. Okay, so that everybody will know about, okay, what is this magical word comes from. Okay, so here is using Firebase database, and we are going to add this endpoint or the connection string. This is like a connection string, or you can call it as an API or something like that. So how we are going to make a connection from a small basic application in Xamarin Forms, like we are going to connect with the Firebase then. So I think our app is ready. Yeah, our project is ready. Okay, so I'm really excited over here in the database. It's really nice. I like it. So yeah, let's go to the database section. Then here, so here you can see we can create a new database. So we don't we want this app in test mode. Okay, so let me add this app in test mode, and you just select any of the region that you mainly like over here. Okay, so we don't really want this thing to come in middle. So let me open this. So it is provisioning our Cloudflare. Let it provision. It is now setting up security rules. It is doing all its magical operation inside there. So here basically this is a X Hacker database. Okay, this is the database name. So what actually we'll select is the real-time database. So then you can see over here, this is the endpoint. This is the endpoint where actually we are going to integrate. We are telling that, okay, this is the one endpoint where our Xamarin Forms application needs here this line of code, so that our Xamarin Forms application will now get connected with this database. Okay, it's like left and right. So we want our Firebase application to get like connected over here. Then what we'll actually do then? So there's pretty straightforward work. So here you can see there is a employee side. This is like a table name. Okay, and you can see here there's a post async way of sending information to the database. Okay, so employee is the table, and I have added that employee inside my table folder. So employee has username and password. So you can actually see the employee table hold is username and password, and it's like a very straight way of sending the username and password from our view to the over here. Okay, so what actually here is, this is a query. Okay, so this is a query that gets inherited from Firebase database. So what will it basically be there then? Okay, so here let me add this thing here. Okay, and this is a query. Okay, Firebase database.query is the query which lets our Firebase DB to know that username and the password is going to be sent to the database. That's all. So let me run my iOS application because I really don't want my emulator to load really slow. So I really prefer iOS simulators to work and do my all the works. Okay, so let me put one breakpoint, and this is only one small demo of sending username and password to this database table. So I'll show you some magic how it actually goes over here. So yeah, we were just working on this part. Okay, like previously in our session where I was telling, we are just arguing about the username and putting that placeholder size with the Om Prakash Durgesh. We have a very good conversation. No problem. Then let's add my name is Samir. Okay, and my password is, don't hack my password, 3456. Okay, and I'm going to send the data now. Wow, permission denied. That's great because we can't act 1 minute. We can't actually send. We can't actually send simple, like we can't send the data simply to the database itself. So there should be a rule, right? There should be a like permissions inside the database itself. So there will be a read and write permission that will be there. So what we'll actually do then? Authentication equals null. Okay, so what actually there will be like, we are now going to give read and write access to this database by allowing the permissions. Okay, so I need to publish this. That's all. Now let's go to the database section as we want to see our magical things going on over here. Okay, now I'm going to send the send data. Okay, that is going to, let me rerun the app itself. Okay, so let me send my name, Samir. Oh, okay, Amir. That's really good name, Amir. Okay, so I'm going to send the data information over here. Now it will do all its magical work over here, and then it will tell that your data is it's now published. I didn't even refreshed. Do you see that? Do you see that the Amir name with the 123456 password? Yeah. So this is how actually like simple. Like one employee has logged in. Okay, like one employee information I just sent over to the database. So how it actually works in real-time application or something like, okay, this application, if we want to make something like, okay, we are going to make application a little bit complex. So yeah, everybody was waiting for that thing, right? So let me go through my Firebase application that I have built like recently, and it has all the admin panel as well as the customer panel. So let me first of all tell, okay, I have to go through this portal. So what we have done actually, right? So we have opened the Firebase console. We have just added our database over here. We have added the rule and added the NuGet package inside the Xamarin Forms application as we have configured it, right? Now, what we have done then, we have added a simple database table, and then how to add that simple database table, we have already known that, okay, we were sending username and password to the Firebase database, correct? So yeah, we have done it. We have integrated. Now it's a customer as well as employee admin app showcase. So how actually we are going to integrate some little bit complex stuff within that database table. So Yeah, it's basically, let us suppose, like I'm going to give one example. In an organization, I think everybody or somebody, like I think 40% or 50% of people are in organization, I know that. So let us suppose there are admin is like who is known about, has access to all the employees information. So employees as well as admin, what they will do inside this application is they are going to open our application, they are going to register themselves. Okay, so admin is is going to see like registered users, like registered employees within his dashboard. And he actually, what he does is that it is like a small core concept, you don't need to go to deep. Okay, so what he actually does it, the admin will just select one employee, he will assign the task. Okay, let us suppose if the employee is like, okay, employee number one, what is the task that is to be assigned to that specific employee within that organization. Let us suppose there, if it is needed, like, okay, in the morning shift, if the evening shift, as well as in the day shift, what are the tasks that are to be assigned to that specific employee. So yeah, it will be like a nested way, how the in a morning shift, what are the list of tasks, how many number of the tasks are to be assigned to that specific employee, right? So in the time of, like, in the morning shift, as well as in the day shift, as well as evening shift, what are the tasks to be like what are the tasks to be assigned by the admin to that employee. Okay, so this is a normal application, but it has some little bit of weightage. So yeah, that's what I was excited about, to show how all the operations work, like how we're gonna send that information there. Okay, so this is what we have done. So let me start with the application itself. So this app is just made in 1.5 day, that's all. Okay, so it's not really good, but yeah, for our small demo purpose, I think it works. Okay, so yeah, this is a very like a less weighted app, you can see over here. So we have two parts, that is customer access as well as admin access. And in our previous demo, in my previous demo, I had told that, okay, we have to initialize somewhere our Firebase connection string, right? So let me change that to my this Firebase string, because we are doing a real demo here. So let me copy that thing. Okay, that is our Firebase connection string. So I have changed it there, because we don't have really a hot reload in sysap. I really miss that thing over here. I don't need to restart that. So again, let me restart it. It just fires up within like 4 to 5 seconds. That's all. I'm really happy about my iOS simulator. So yeah, the first of all, the customer will see his access over this in this application, and admin is going to access over from this section. Okay, you can just modify it. You are free to modify it. It is an open source. Okay, I'm just going to deliver it in the GitHub. You just play around it, tell me where the issue is, you can just report the bugs. Very simple. Okay, so yeah, let me register my employee. Let me myself be a employee for some company. Samir, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let me register Samir employee. Okay, so what actually happens is user gets created, right? So I should see it in my database also, correct? So register Samir GC first of all. Okay, Samir is registered with 1 2 3 4 5 6 password. So yeah, if he's registered, then he should see his dashboard too, correct? Samir 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, he just logs in. Then everything will fire up. Okay, and he says nothing because no task was assigned to him. So here I have used some microcharts in like a static coded. You can just hard code those microcharts and just show that employee progress report of the month, like January, February month. Okay, the April, May, June, July. I just hard coded it, but you can just make it as dynamic. You don't need to worry about that thing. So these are some microcharts. I don't want that thing. So what actually from the admin panel will do is he's also going to register. Let me register Raj. Okay, Raj as an admin 5 6. Okay, so Raj as an admin, he is going to create his account to the database, and you can see here it automatically reloads. So Raj with his password 123456. Now you know that, right? The Raj is admin and he should see Samir user. So yeah, Raj is going to add his username and he's going to add his password, and magic. Okay, so he's going to see his Samir user, right? The employee. So yeah, now he just wants to go like, okay, what was the task that were added to like Samir? No, nothing, right? So what actually happens now? Here the magic happens. So he, Raj, as being an admin, he is going to assign task to Samir, okay, like in a nested way. How he is going to do that then? Okay, so there is nothing more like a serious thing in this demo, but one place I'm going to put a breakpoint where a user like a Raj is going to add the user this is the task that has been assigned to Raj, right? So this is basically going to a post request. Okay, so this is going to be a post request. It's like a service calls that we have to do. It's like in our term, like if we have worked with service web services or something like that, you have to know like okay, get what is the get async, what does it really do? And in Firebase, once async and get async are same. Okay, so in our web services call, we just do get async to get these user information, everything. Okay, so in the post async, we are going to send the information to the database. So this is like get async and post async. We have like the delete async will be there. Okay, update for update. We need to put async. Okay, so these are the terminology that we use in web services calls. So yeah, these web services, I have a very good way of calling. I don't know who argues with me or not. This is really a good way of calling web services. I think some of the developers want this thing, and I have made it an open source. Just check it out. Okay, somebody will tell that okay, I will create one instance of the service class IAPI services and API service. No, we don't want that. So this is an API service I have created over here, and you can just add all your client information like client.http client and just put your web URL over here, default service headers you can add over here, everything you can just add over here and just call your client services. Okay, it's just like some tricks of calling this thing. Okay, it's just like a simple way of doing this. So yeah, I don't know where I went. Okay, so yeah, we were just pushing out task to the database, right? The nested way of doing this stuff. So yeah, we are just, I just want to go to this thing. Okay, how we actually do it. So these are two things. Now you can see here Samir was the user, okay, that employee which was going to be assigned with the task. So let me assign that user, like what is the task name of Samir user? Let us suppose Samir is an user, right? Is an employee. So like I'm going to give him a like morning task, MORNI, morning task. Okay, so these are the morning tasks. And how many tasks assigned to the Samir during the time of morning. I want to tell that okay, I'm going to send Samir, like I'm going to assign Samir 2 tasks a day. So add task 1 to the Samir means what is the task name for that Samir? Like okay, during the time of morning I'm going to assign Samir with 2 tasks, and what is the name of those tasks? So let us suppose go to office. Okay, he actually does it. Go to office, then open the doors. Okay, open the doors. That's simple. Really 2 tasks. So now tasks were added successfully. You can see over here. The morning tasks were added. Along with that, we have go to office as well as open the doors. So how we actually did it? So there is nothing more than that. We just need to provide a list of client tasks. So this is what the task model we are going to send. Okay, and the task model name is, so it is inside the employee task table. It is inside the employee task table. You can see over here. So client task is this thing. Okay, it is going to make a nested list view inside this thing. We can just make it like a very big way of doing your stuff as per your requirement. It's just like a demo where I'm just going to tell that I'm going to put a list view inside it. Again, for this also we can just go inside a very deep. This is a simple way of sending that information to the database. Okay, so what actually, sorry, I don't want this thing. Now again, let me add another task, like evening task. Evening task. Okay, so during the time of evening, he should like how many tasks to be assigned? 3 tasks to be assigned to Samir. Okay, just close the code. Okay, code till late night. Okay, this is the task. Then sort oh sort it down your system. Oh my God! Wait, sort down. Sorry, and shut down your system. Close the doors. Okay. So yeah, these were the 3 tasks that were again assigned to Samir. You can see over it automatically updates. So this was the next task that was updated right now with the evening task. You can see it goes deep, it goes deep, it goes deep. So go till late night, the developer does it. So shut down your system, close the doors. Yeah. So yeah, we have already achieved it. Now if the admin sees, okay, he want to see what were the task. And as Dishant told, right, the expanders that we really love most, and during our chat session also we just explained about that. Yeah, let's see. Okay, we have used that expanders to like morning task, evening task, what were the task. It will just like, it's like a tree hierarchy that is like being implemented with the help of expander. It's also a nested way of taking like using those expanders. So we have binded it in a nested way of taking all those information from the database table. So yeah, these are the things. Now what actually Samir being an employee, let me go back, okay, Samir, to the Samir employee itself. Then he is going to log in with username, password, that is 123456 password. Okay, he's going to log in with the username and password. Now he should see his morning task as well as evening task, because Raz has already assigned him a morning task, that is go to office, open the doors. Along with that, he has already assigned Samir with evening task as go till night, okay, until it gets late, and shut down your system, close the door. So he just does it. Okay, like he have to do it. I don't know how you will use this app. I really don't know. And it is like open source. I have just sent it like added it like my GitHub. Okay, you just go there, access it, and use it. Okay, so again, like let us suppose the Raj employee, like Raj admin, it decides to tell that, okay, I'm going to delete the evening task for Samir. Okay, because I want to work on the morning. So yeah, this all the information should be like deleted, right? So yeah, we just file deleted successfully. You can just see, oh my God, see, the file was deleted and then one task are only there within the database itself. So this is how actually we are going to use our expanders along with that the nested way of integrating our Xamarin Forms application with Firebase. So yeah, the customer and admin app showcase is done. So here I don't want to just make this whole tutorial boring. I don't want to go through this, but let me again revise this thing. So this is a post async, how we are going to send the username and password. This is the get async. These are the some basic terminology that we use in order to send, get, update, as well as delete all the information from our Firebase table. So I have added those things over here, delete item from the database. How you gonna do that? So we are basically going to send the client ID. That is what I have done over in my application, that is in my customer showcase application. So client ID was sent, and I have deleted this thing. Okay, so client ID or the task ID, you can just send it and then delete that thing. Okay, the item from the database itself. And update, for update, I already told you this is a way how we do in web services calls. The put async will help us a lot for updating the item within the database by sending our task ID or the client ID itself to update the database. So yeah, we have already done it, how we inserted the nested tables inside our Xamarin Forms application. So how we have control, like this is how we actually do. Just use it more, okay? Like inside the client task, use it. Okay, again, create another list, create another list. Just go inside. You just want to do that, okay? So yeah, that's all for my talk. Over to you, Durgesh. Any questions, please let me know.
That's really a good session, Samir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are audible. Yeah.
I really like the story flow, and it was an awesome session. And there are a lot of fun we were doing as part of the chat window as well. Yeah.
I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. I'm just
Uh,
saying it. Fully agreed is
yeah.
excellent.
So I guess there, yeah,
I
there are
really.
yeah, there are a couple of questions like related to Firebase. I believe a lot of people use Firebase into their apps. So maybe one you can take like one of the question from Anubhav and suggestion as well. Maybe if you can explain the difference between the Firebase cloud storage and the real-time database. Mhm.
Uh, yeah. Can you again? I just don't see Anubhav, right? Nice one. Okay.
Yep.
I am just going through my chat screen right now.
Yep.
Okay. So let me.
Yep. And guys, feel free to yeah, unmute yourself if you have any questions, doubts, um, also the feedback for the session. I really like this session. Yep. Mhm.
What is that question? Can you again
Yep. Yep. I
raise
can.
that thing?
Yep. Yeah, it would be good to if you can, explain the difference between the Cloud Firestore versus the real-time database of Firebase. Mhm. So when you like log into Firebase, right, and if you see the like integrations with Xamarin, you have both options of like integrating a Cloud Firestore. I believe it is related to storage and also a real-time database. So have you worked with both of them?
So cloud was like cloud Firestore, right? So it's
Yes.
like a NoSQL. They are basically working with like NoSQL cloud database to store and sync okay data. So yeah, Firebase like cloud Firebase is like really flexible. And with my knowledge, okay, what we have used is a real-time database that we have integrated inside our Xamarin Forms application. And I think okay, I think. Inside our cloud Firestore, it is let me go. I haven't used it. Okay, I haven't used it. Telling you frankly.
Yep.
So
And
give the collection as an
yeah.
ID.
Mhm.
So something interesting is there, but basically what I actually do is that use the real time database. That yeah, real time is real time. So everything will like sync within the matter of seconds. So yeah, that's what the real time database is.
Yep. And have you
So yeah.
tried, maybe we can use this option to answer one of the questions, I think, which we had earlier for offline sync. So have you used this NuGet packages or Firebase, in case of like storing the data locally and then you can do a remote sync later? Have you
Yes,
tried with Fire?
it's yes. Yeah, no, I haven't used the Firebase as of now. So what I have actually used during my application was I'll be basically using SQLite.NET PCL. Okay, that will be like it will be storing all the user information. First of all, like let us suppose he's going to add his username, password, username, not password, not for like some information that he really want to store locally, like in offline access, right? So yeah, he's going to like add all this information to the SQLite.NET PCL, and then during the time of like internet just comes up, okay, like after like a daily backup or 1 day backup or 2 day backup during that backup time. So automatic syncing, how it actually happens is it will every time check, it will check like daily, like daily. Let us suppose it is a daily access way. then it will check the time is like the time span is today, like it is the time, okay, that the data need to be synced. Then it will just check whether those data within that SQLite PCL database is there or not, and it will just update it to the our client web server database. Okay, so it is not a Firebase web servers that we actually use. So we'll be with lots of securities when our clients, you know that, right, Durgesh?
Yep.
The
Do you
client
use
that
any?
we use it.
Yeah. It's different for each project. Yeah. Do you
Yes.
use any NuGet package for that offline sync, or is it all of your custom implementation, like with background services or things like that? Yeah. Sorry, we can't
Okay.
hear you. Yep.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So the NuGet package that we'll be using is of like a SQLite.NET PCL. So it will be like developed by Frank A. Cougar, and yeah, this is like a NuGet package that we'll be using,
That
Durgesh.
is, yeah,
And
that is to store the data locally, right?
yes, 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 correct.
My question is like more around like if you want to, I think even Shiraz is also asking for the same. If you want to, let's say, after storing the local data into your locally into your mobile apps, if you want to remote sync it, I haven't used any NuGet so far. So have you tried like using any library
A
for that?
remote sync. It's like a remote sync. Here we just actually need to code like a daily backup. Okay, like what is the date? Like let us suppose the last backup date we need to take. Okay, we just need to tell that, okay, web server, this is the last backup that has been taken within the app. Okay, and the last backup, the last modified time. Okay, we just tell it as a last modified time, and the updated modified, like updated database modified time. This is like two things. Okay, there will be like IDs that gets updated. Okay, so if that ID is not updated, then it will tell that, okay, the backup need to be done, that like syncing need to be done. Okay, so before that, all the data that were collected should be stored to the local database at first. Then for during the time of, like, let us suppose 2 days already over, then the user should be made within a pop-up. Okay, one pop-up screen will be there. Then they will tell that okay, we have to tell the code. Okay, we have to make the code near that sync, like send the local database information to the web server. We have to do it like this way. So we are just telling that we are just storing all the user information to locally first of all, and during when there is no internet connection, and as soon as the internet connection comes up, then we have to check whether the we have already, there is like a duration or not, whether that last updated time and that the current updated time is like in sync or not. Then we have to sync all those, we have to take out all those data to the to the server. We have to send those data to the server. This is how we actually do in
Cool.
our enterprise application as
Cool.
of now.
Yep. I think that answers to most of the questions what we have with the offline sync. And I see there are a couple of people have raised hands. So yeah, feel free to unmute yourself, like Derek. Yep, you can ask your questions and doubts. Samir has a nice experience. So yep, and anyone of you have already experienced with Firebase, and if you know any best practices, yeah, feel free to share. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, whoever has raised hands can ask questions. Yeah, or you can also drop your question into the chat box.
Yeah, I have one question that whenever you do a sync, right, there is a delta difference exists between your actual Azure data with the Xamarin data, I mean SQLite data. So what would be the best practices to see that which is the latest updated data, or how you gonna track it? I mean, it's at a code level is what I'm trying to understand. One is like, latest updated time could be your one way to track. Apart from that, if there is any conflicts or delta difference I have to capture, apart from the latest updated date, is there other fields I have to take care?
So actually, there is another way also where we have implemented the WhatsApp login authentication. How actually the WhatsApp makes a user not logged in two devices, as you know that, right? So if you use your username and password, if you use your phone number in one phone and you access your WhatsApp, then we can't use that WhatsApp in another phone, correct? So this is how actually inside our organization also we have just done some we just went through some workflow. Okay, we have just made some map designs, everything how they have implemented. So this the what they actually do is that, and I think it will come into your practice too during the time of syncing. So what we actually have done is we have to just create, we just created GUIDs. Okay, like a GUID will be like a global user identifiers that will be like saved inside the mobile app. Okay, like in the storage itself, which will be like a really in the deep inside the environment folder, and which can't be accessed. So those GUID will be automatically generated as per the device. So this device information is like unique, really unique. Now during the time of syncing the information, what we actually need to do is that send that GUID of that specific device, and along with the time span. Okay, like let's suppose one GUID is going to be passed to the database of your web server. Okay, so this GUID is going to be unique every time. Okay, so this is how the GUID, every time the user logs in, okay, like he refreshes every time, then this GUID will be renewed every time, and it will let your web server to know that this is like this is a new session for this user, this is a new session for this user. So you can automatically sync all those information to your web server database. This is the second way we can do it.
So if I understand rightly, it's one is GUID plus the timestamp is what it should define the uniqueness of the data, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So in the sync also, I see the three ways of doing it. Like one is manual sync, where the user go and manually press OK, I want to sync the data. Another one is where you do automatically sync, right? Every 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you trigger some event to be get synced. And there is another one is a notification based sync. Notification based sync, I will little elaborate on that. So in my case, what will happen is data flow from two directions. There is a Xamarin way it flow, and there is a data comes even from the on-prem to the SQL Azure. So data which comes from the on-prem to the SQL Azure, I want to give a notification to the front-end user saying that, hey, see, here is the data which got updated for you, and now you have to go and sync it, right? So that is the one way is what I'm thinking. Other one way could be the moment I get a data from the on-premise to my SQL Azure, can I trigger something at the Xamarin level which can pull this latest data and put the data into the SQLite?
Yes, we can do that. And if I correctly understood, you are going to send your Azure data to your SQLite too, right?
Yeah, SQL.
It is like a reverse. Yeah, it is like a reverse flow, sir. Okay,
Correct.
it's like a reverse flow, and the flow, like we can just it is like going from A to B and B to A. There is nothing to do that. It's like a really easy way to send and sync between your Azure to your local storage, and your local storage to the Azure. There is nothing more than that.
Yeah, from Azure to the SQLite, is push notification is what I'm thinking. Is there any other way to do it apart from that?
Push notification data sync are you talking about?
I believe like in this scenario, like if you have a large data, I mean, then it would be like it makes sense to give a notification or get a user consent there. Otherwise, if it is a small data, as part of the best practices, what you can do is like when you if you have a background service, then you can call your Azure function which can do this sync. So because I have seen a lot of apps doing this sync as part of the splash activity or the background activities, but I would suggest if you're downloading too much of information, probably like a large size file or video or things like that, that way you may need to get that user consent. Yeah. So it's more from the, if my understanding is correct, you're more asking from the Azure to the Xamarin part itself, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, we can't use any, I mean, the best way to do this within the Xamarin app is using the reactive extensions, but we can't use that because we have two different sources. So I'm not sure if that capability of observables will help you here. But if you're working within the app itself, I mean, that is really cool. Yep. Yeah, I was working on one of the same concept, but it's more not with Azure, but it's more related to the REST APIs. With the data whenever we have, instead of we pulling the data, I mean the data itself should tell us that it is ready for us to display kind of thing. So the scenarios where we have such kind of thing, reactive extensions are really useful. But in your case, since we are working on two different like zones, it would make sense if you can check for the data within your Splash activity, or as part of the background service. Yeah. Mhm.
Background source. Okay. So in case you assume that you have to upload even the image content, right? So if you're using Xamarin plus Azure, so how you guys are preferring? I mean, you upload the image from Xamarin to the blob storage, then you come back and give the control. I mean, then you pass on the metadata of the image to the SQL Azure, or is that you have to read an image from Xamarin and there's an API which is going to consume this binary data of an image and then it will store to the blob storage?
Yes. So all of this, like uploading and all, like we usually use Azure Functions for that, in order to either uploading the image or generating the thumbnails for that. And because the uploading rely on, like, sometimes it may take a lot of time as well. So the best, as part of the best practices, you can use Cloud Functions for that, like either Azure or Firebase. And probably, like, if anyone has used it, like Samir, into your apps, you can provide more information on this. Yeah. Mhm.
So I would like to
So
share. Yes,
yeah,
Samir.
go ahead. Shall I talk for some time?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
please.
I have used it. Okay, so basically, yes, we have to send in images. Like, let us suppose the user is uploading his profile information, like profile image, right? He should update, and the data, the image should go to your database table, correct? So yeah, we have to send the image, but there are lots of way to send the image to your server database. So actually, the best way that I have up to now known is to configure your backend service to get all the images in the form of form data. So what we call in .NET technology is like a form data image capturing. So how we gonna send that information from the mobile then? So mobile is going to convert our image to byte array. It's not like a string. It is directly a byte array. It will like a render really, really fast. Then this byte array, with the help of form data API, like push async, okay, we are going to send your information, like the images, in the form of byte array, and from your API end, from the web server, you have to capture it in the form of form data. Then you will just store it on some location and giving the path in your like in your string, like, okay, this is the path that you have stored, like the user has updated his profile image. So I think it answered your question then.
No, not exactly. See, what is my question? See, one is like from Xamarin, you want to just upload a plain image, right? So I have two options. I will connect my Xamarin app directly to the blob storage and I will upload the image from the Xamarin to the blob storage. Then I get the location of an image. Then I will call my Azure API to store the metadata of this image. Right? This is the one scenario. Other scenario could be you read the image on your Xamarin app, then you will convert it to the byte array. Then you will send this byte array to the API, and API receives this byte array and convert that into image and upload into the blob storage. Right? There are two ways.
So Sharon, to answer your question, so I have used this type of architecture, especially with Azure. So I can tell you, if you are using Azure, the best possible way. There might be some other ways also, but what I feel is the best solution is, like, if you are uploading anything from a mobile application, so you can directly upload that to to the blob storage, or you can do it via API also. You can pass that stream to the API, and that API will upload that to the blob, and that blob path can be stored as a reference in your DB. So whenever you want to fetch that from the blob next time, then API can provide you that blob URL along with the SaaS token, and you can easily download that in your mobile application.
Yeah.
So that will be the good approach.
True. Even I feel that uploading the image from Xamarin to the blob storage making more sense, because you have to fire a large image into ByteArray into the API, then convert it. It's like a long process.
Yeah, so you can directly pass a stream to your API, and that stream can be, that API can process the stream and then can directly upload to the blob, or you can from the mobile also you can directly upload to the blob. So both way, anyway you have to upload it either through the API or from the mobile application, but you have to see which is the more suitable for your business process.
Okay, got it. Thanks, guys.
Sure, no issues. Thank you. Nice question.
Thanks, Dishant, for sharing that. I think we can wrap up this session, and then we can also continue. If you guys have any questions, we'll be there for next 5-10 minutes. We can answer that. Yep. Let me just start with the wrap up. Yep. So first of all, I would like to thank our speakers today, Dishant and Samir. It takes a lot of courage, and also you have like spent time with the community. Thanks for initiating that. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and experience with us, and also thanks to the audience who have joined us today. I hope this session is useful for you, and I'll be sharing the link of the recording and the presentation and source code. I'll collect everything and I'll share with you guys. So keep an eye on our meetup and social groups. And I also would like to introduce that we also are planning for our next meetup in next month, June, probably early first week or second week. So I'll post the details about it on the meetup as part of the upcoming meetup. So I hope to see you all as part of those events. And if you would like to contribute for our upcoming meetups, there's a link on the screen right now. This is for the call for presenters form. You can go ahead and submit your proposal. Anything related to Xamarin, your day-to-day job experience, any best practices, if what you have been following, if you would like to share it with Xamarin community, feel free to submit your proposal, and I can reach out to you. We can find a slot for the upcoming meetups. Yep. So thanks everyone for joining us, and feel free to utilize the remaining time for any queries. Those people who have raised hands, they can unmute yourself and raise questions. Yeah, and I'll drop you an email about the feedback also. Feel free to, because this is our first virtual meetup. So feel free to give us a feedback for the upcoming sessions. With your feedback, we will try to improve on what you would like to see further, and also related to our virtual meetup. If any issues with the setup, if you get, feel free to give us a feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys. It helped me a lot.